like to call the meeting to order, please. Would you all please stand for the Pledge of Allegiance? I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. So we do have some board members online, so we'll have to do a roll call attendance and a roll call vote. So attendance,
We'll do that first. Sure. All right. Kristen.
Here.
David G.
Here.
Annie.
Here.
Wendy.
Here.
Tyler.
Here.
Christine is absent. Kathy.
here.
Patty.
Here.
Rebecca.
Here.
Yep, I gotcha. Betty.
Here.
Sean. I know he's at the legislature, so we'll check as we go along. Right now he's absent, but we'll check as we go along. Kelsey. And David T.
Here.
Here we go. And no student reps.
Kelty's here.
Kelty's here.
Kelty's
Oh, there's
here.
Kelty,
Oh,
yeah.
no, she was good. Kelty, just say here real quick. Oh, yours.
What's that? Okay. Good evening, and thank you all for coming tonight. Before we get started, I wanted to remind you one more time about our agreed upon core values, which are integrity, perseverance, family, respect, collaboration, and trust. These values support our mission of being a caring school community dedicated to excellence, and they also support our vision of being safe, dynamic learning communities where people of all ages will think, aspire, and participate as responsible citizens in an ever-changing global society. As you just heard, this meeting will be also held in Zoom. So as far as the citizen comments and public participation piece of the meeting, which is number 6 on tonight's agenda, in accordance with RSU number 38 policy BEDH, public participation at school board meetings, the following guidelines will be followed. For those attending via Zoom, you will notice that the microphones are muted except during the identified portions of the public comments, which is number 6 on tonight's agenda. If you're viewing on Zoom and would like to speak during the public comment times, please use the chat feature to notify Diane McGregor, and she will communicate with me, and then you can speak. In-person speakers, please sign up on the sheet on the clipboard by the door. We want to hear from all of our stakeholders and ask that you be respectful with your constructive comments to the board. All speakers, please identify yourself with your first and last name and the town you live in. Priority will be given to individuals who live and pay taxes in our member communities, who have immediate family members of enrolled students or are employees of RSU 38. Individuals that do not have one of these direct connections to our district may or may not be given permission to speak at the discretion of the board chair. We ask that speakers limit their comments to 3 minutes. And if someone has a similar view as yours and they speak ahead of you, please don't repeat everything that they said, just say that you agree. I'd also like to clarify how we address concerns of the public that may be brought up at these meetings. Again, in accordance with RSU number 38 policy BEDH, we welcome all respectful comments and concerns, and we ask that you not use any derogatory comments or use names or identifying comments of any district personnel. We cannot discuss specific personnel matters in public, but we can listen to any broad concerns that folks may have. All speakers are to address the chair and direct questions or comments to particular board members only with approval of the chair. The board will hear and record your comments, and then we will not debate any of the matters that come up tonight at this meeting. Following the meeting, we'll take time to research and gather information on any questions that have come up, and then we will get back to you. Again, the public is always encouraged to call the superintendent at any time with any questions or concerns that you might have. And again, I want to thank you for coming and participating in our process. So to begin with tonight, we're going to do some recognitions. So the first group that we'd like to recognize tonight is the 2023 Girls Class C Tennis State Champions. For the first time in the history of our school, we won the state championship. Hooray! So congratulations. So we have certificates for each of you. So when I call your name, come on up, and you're going to have to stand up here the whole time so that we can see you until the whole team is called up. I don't think they're all here, but we're still going to call everyone's name. So we begin with Jaden Bryant. Mary Hatt. Is that? Oh, I don't know what that is. That goes there. Okay, sorry. Abigail Allen. Josie Charlin. I'm apologizing ahead of time if I pronounce these names wrong. Hayden Freeman. Hannah McAdam. Cassidy McCormick. Tina Cato. Lily Brosey. Ava Candage. Claire Dwyer. There we go. Molly Woodford. Elia Ames. Anwin Kane. Sophia Mishu. Grace Tweedy. Olivia Whitcomb. And last but not least, Coach Louis Gingras. So if the board would all please stand for this wonderful group of girls that brought us the state championship. Thank you so much. Thank you for coming tonight. Thank you.
Have a good summer.
Great accomplishment for that team. So, okay, next on the agenda is we have one retiring staff member from the whole district this year. So we'd like to honor Barbara Galouche, but I don't think she's here. But we'll give her a round of applause. So she ended her 26 years at Maranacook. She ended at Manchester Elementary School. So we wish her well in her retirement. So let's just give her a Now we also have some outgoing board members that we'd like to recognize. And the first one is from Reed Field, and that's Betty Morrill. And I'd just like to thank Betty for all of her years of service here on the board. You've contributed a wonderful amount to our schools, to our team, to our board, to our community, and we really appreciate everything that you've done and wish you the best in your, finally, your retirement.
Oh, yeah, Betty. Congratulations, Betty.
So the next person that will be leaving our board is also from Reed Field, and that's Patty Gordon. And again, I'd like to thank Patty for the 5 years that she's contributed to the board. Again, she's brought a great perspective of an educator to our board, which I think has been really important. And we all appreciate all that you've given to us, the time that you've been here. So good luck in your next endeavors.
whoops, can you hear me? Is that okay? And I'm going to do the last award is for Kathy, who is leaving the board after 6 years, also in service. And as many of you guys know, she's been a longtime Marana cook, kind of, I'm losing the word.
Supporter.
Supporter, yes. She
Everything
was-
for Miranda
For
Cook.
those of you that don't remember, she used to be the middle school principal, so she's been around quite a long time. And I know Kathy's been a tremendous support to me as well as to the other board members and done a lot of work for the betterment of the school system. So Kathy, on behalf of the board, I'd like to say congratulations to you. And please, we hope to see you out in the audience and hope you'll stay in touch and give feedback. You always talk about feedback, so we're going to be looking for yours as we move
Great.
forward. So
Thank you.
congratulations, Kathy.
Thank you. Okay, moving right along. Do any of the board members have adjustments or additions to the agenda?
I do have two, if that's okay. The first one will make 5K, and that's to accept the resignation of Casey Bopane, the elementary school social worker.
Is that okay if everybody, if we add that to the agenda?
And then I have one more for you, I'm sorry. 5J, resignation of James Mrazek, who is a middle school team teacher. Those came through today. I didn't want to add them to the agenda, but thought I'd better.
Is that okay for everyone if we add that to the agenda? And I do have one more thing I'd like to add to the agenda, and that's the board evaluation. So if we could put that for 5I, if that's okay with everybody, so we can talk about the board evaluation. Is that okay?
I think we're up to M. Yeah. K.
We're at M?
Those are
Whoops,
the
I's
three.
before K, isn't it? Whoops, sorry about that. Thank you. This is what I need, a team effort. Okay. And the evaluation. Is there anything else that anybody would like to add to the agenda? Okay. So the first item on the action piece of the agenda is to approve the minutes of the June 7th regular meeting. Do I have a motion?
Motion to approve the minutes of the June 7th meeting as
Second.
read.
Second. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
All righty, Kristen,
Yes.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Abstain.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty.
Yes.
Sean is not online yet. Is that correct, Diane? Okay. Kelty
Yep.
and David T.
Yes.
So passes, one abstention.
So I'm just going to check with the abstention, Patty, because you weren't here. Is that why you abstained?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you. Next on the agenda is acceptance of donations. Do I have a motion?
Motion to accept donations?
Second.
It's been moved and seconded to accept the donations as written. Is there any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Kristen,
Yes.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T.
Yes.
And that passes unanimously.
Next on the agenda is to accept the computation and declaration of votes. Is there a motion?
Motion to accept computation and declaration of votes as read.
Second.
Is there any discussion? I just do want to say, as soon as we vote, we'll send those around for everybody to sign, okay? Before we go on to the next item on the agenda. Okay, we're ready to vote.
All right, Kristen,
Yes.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T. Yes. So that passes unanimously.
Yep. Okay, after the next item, we'll do all of the signing. So the next one is, I need a motion for approval of the assessment warrants and installment schedules.
Motion to approve assessment warrants and installation schedules.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Again, we'll have to sign all of these too, so we'll send both of those around as soon as this vote takes place. No discussion? Okay, we'll vote.
All righty. Kristen,
Yes.
David G.
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T.
Yes.
And that is unanimous.
Okay, so Donna's gonna pass those. If you need a pen, let us know. We've got some extra
Oh,
pens.
I got extra pens here.
Five in that bunch.
So for the people that are in the room, this will take probably about 5 minutes to get all the signatures, just so you know. Anybody else need a pen?
So is that it? We got them all now? Okay. All right, good. Thank you. All right, so now we'll move on to item 5E, appointment of first probationary contract teachers. Do I have a motion?
I move that we accept the appointment of the first probationary contract teachers as presented.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Kristen,
Yes.
David G.
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
So in your packet, you have the teacher evaluation plan. So is there a motion to accept this RSU 38 teacher evaluation plan?
I move that we accept the RSU 38 teacher evaluation plan.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I have a question. Same question I always have. I wasn't here for a lot of meetings, and I can't recall in minutes if this was talked about when I was not present, but was there opportunity for staff input?
Yes, we had part of the committee. Actually, Leslie is here. She was played a pretty big hand in this. So, yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Yes.
Any other questions or discussion? Anybody online? Okay, hearing none, we'll vote.
Hey, Kristen,
Yes.
David G.
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T.
Yes.
It passes unanimously.
Okay. So the next thing on the agenda is we need to appoint a delegate and an alternative delegate to the Maine School Board Association for the October conference. So do we have a nomination or volunteer? Do we have a volunteer?
I mean, I'll do it again if nobody else wants to do it.
Anybody else want to do it? So you're volunteering?
Yeah, I'll
All
volunteer.
those in favor of Tyler?
Here, here.
Thank you, Tyler.
Oh, were we supposed to vote the other way?
Uh,
No, we didn't have
That's
to for that
okay.
one.
That's
So we
okay.
also need an alternate in case Tyler changes his mind between now and October.
I'll do it.
Okay,
I'll be
great.
alternate.
Okay,
Okay.
everybody okay with Wendy doing alternate? Yeah.
Thank you, Wendy.
Okay, thank you, Tyler. Thank you, Wendy. Okay, next on the agenda is there a motion to authorize the superintendent to file the proper necessary application forms to participate in everything it says there?
I move,
I move we authorize the superintendent to file the proper and necessary application forms to participate in any and all selected federal programs for RSU 38 and otherwise act as the authorized representative for and on behalf of RSU 38 for 2023-2024.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote.
Kristen,
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
David T.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Okay, is there a motion to authorize the superintendent to hire and accept resignations in consultation with the chair or vice chair during the summer?
I move that we authorize the superintendent to hire and accept resignations in consultation with the chair or vice chair during the summer.
Second.
So it's been moved and seconded. Any discussion?
I have a quick question. I don't oppose this at all, but is this usual practice just with the chair and yourself, Jay, or wasn't there usually more of a group that helped with that?
Usually I've just done the chair and or vice chair.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just wondering. Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Kristen?
The chair?
Yeah.
Still,
Or vice chair?
okay.
It'll be vice chair.
So,
Yeah.
because we,
So maybe should we amend that to say, or we want to keep it at chair and vice chair?
I say chair or vice chair, yeah. Well, I'll just call David rather than you, so.
Okay by me.
thank you, David. Do we need an alternate for that?
You volunteering? No. Okay, we can vote.
Kristen.
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Yes.
Patty,
Yes.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
David T.
Yes.
Passes unanimously.
Okay. So next on the agenda is foreign language. If you remember last week, we had some people that talked to us a little bit about the foreign language position at the middle school. So Jay has some information for us, but before he gives us the information, I just want to let you know that the ad for the position did go back out. It was advertised again, and it will be open until the 19th,
I believe it's the 19th.
So hopefully we'll get a candidate, and if we don't, we'll have to go from there. So that's where that piece of it's at. But Jay has a few other things.
Yep, so I guess it's important for the board to hear, I really needed to shore up the high school. We've had, I've been here 5 years and we've had 5 different people working in the French program, either full-time and or part-time, over the course of those 5 years. So at the high school level, it's been very unsteady for a lot of different reasons. So Sam Watson, who's at the middle school here, him and I had a conversation about would he be willing to move up to the high school. Sam, for those of you that don't know, is a very dynamic person. I think it was going to be a really good fit for him, and he agreed to do that. So there wasn't a lot of advertising that went into that, the high school position, because Sam agreed to take that position. The other thing that I looked at, and I have to find it in my stuff, I apologize. Nope, it's not right there. I think it's in the back here. Got it somewhere. Okay, I did have it. Where did I put it? I don't know. It's there. Yeah. Maybe it's in here. Well, you know what? I have it online. I'm going to open it up online. Pardon me for a sec while I do that.
Can I say something while you're looking?
Absolutely.
I totally hear you about what you're saying about the high school French program, and what a loss for the middle school.
Yeah, for sure. So just to give people food for thought, We did a search of local high schools and middle schools, actually districts, I should just say districts, that offer language and how many teachers do they have. So I'm just going to run through this list. I'm more than willing to share it if you guys would like to see it in more detail. Coney High School has just shy of 1,000 students, and they have 4 language teachers that teach 8 through 12. Halldale, Richmond, Monmouth, which is RSU 2, has a little over 1,900 students, and they have 8 different language teachers, but again, they have 3 separate high schools. Just, you know, again, it's just for comparison. We looked at Lisbon High School, 350 students with 2 languages. Maranacook has just shy of, between the middle school and high school, just shy of 600 students, or excuse me, 650 students, and they have 6 full-time teachers, 6 through 12. Mount Blue High School, 734 students. They have 3 language teachers, 9 through 12. Mountain Valley High School, 401. They have 3 languages, 9 through 12. Oak Hill, 416 students at the high school, 9 through 12. Spruce Mountain, 412. 412 students, 1 language teacher, and again, 9 through 12. Winthrop has 436 students, and they do their language 612, and they have 2 language teachers. I'm being very honest, I'm very worried about language in general. There's not a lot of language teachers out there, but we do at some level have to start to think about where do we need to put our resources, because they're not going to be there forever. One of the things that I've been very conscious of is if somebody leaves, we're not automatically going to fill the position. We're going to look at some attrition stuff. We still will have 5 language teachers. 2 of those languages will transfer from the middle school to the high school, like German and Spanish. French, we'll have a very solid person in that role. If anybody can maintain the French enrollment, it's that person. So it just seemed to make sense in my mind, rather than hiring someone and then having to let them go, let's not fill the French position going forward. I realize that impacts the middle school, but we still have 2 languages. So it's just something we need to think about in terms of, are we going to be able to support 3 languages, 6 through 12 all the way through? It is in the budget, as somebody brought up, so if we get some apps, we'll continue moving forward with it. But I think the board at some point is going to have to wrestle with the idea of what are we going to do with languages, and do we have a sustainable model at this point? The ad is up, it's in the budget, we will try to move it forward. In my mind, it was better to kind of do it now so that people knew, and the middle school had plenty of time to transition and figure out what they wanted to do. But again, it's in the budget, it's there, but at some point we're going to have to talk about what's sustainable language-wise. There's just not many language teachers across the state. So.
Any questions or discussion from the board? Tyler?
And I don't know if this is sustainable either. Have we looked at changing up our language offerings? Not saying that we shouldn't offer French, but, you know, look at Mandarin, Arabic, any of those other languages, Japanese.
Yeah, we, like I said, I've got this sheet I'm more than willing to pass out to the board. I just didn't know if you guys wanted all of that, but it shows what languages are offered in the schools that we surveyed, and most of them, like I said, are regional. So.
My question was about that. It sounded like there weren't many you said a lot of 9 through 12, not many middle schools offering. I saw, I think 1 or 2. Okay.
Yep.
Thank you.
Any other questions or discussion? Anybody online?
Yeah, I see somebody's hand up. Oh, Sean's
Sean.
here, yay!
Hi, Sean. Go ahead, Sean.
Yeah, sorry. I was trying to unmute. There's a lot of bells going on. I guess it's more of a comment than a question. I just hope in the future, before decisions like this are made, that it can be a broader board discussion. I feel, I guess I am being critical. I feel this sent a lot of angst. I'm not going to, and I feel that, this was just in the budget. And if it was something we were going to do, we should discuss as a full board, and maybe it shouldn't have been in the budget. I mean, it seemed to send a lot of angst to the middle school and amongst parents. So I just hope in the future, these things can be a broader discussion and the board, doesn't learn about them from disgruntled parents and teachers.
David?
I like thinking of it both ways going forward and thinking together about it, and having the advice from Jay that we might need to tackle upon that is important. I also like what Tyler said, and I don't know how we would find out about it, but other languages and French might be able to be offered or supported in a different way than in your standard classroom. And my 3 sons, although adults, are all studying Japanese right now. And within the world as it is today, our students will be helped by having whatever advantages they can get. And with all the interconnectedness, being able to study French could be important for our community, because there is a good deal of French in our community, but also for the world. And that, again, will include other languages. So I'm not saying what I think we have to do. I just think it would be good to consider these things, which in a way goes a little bit against, well, maybe we need to cut back, but maybe they can go together in some way, depending on how the charting is done.
And I think that might be it might be a good time for the middle school to actually look at how they are delivering languages. I mean, is there a different way that they could still offer all of these things that we want to offer to our kids, but in a different way? And I'm just gonna, there was a time when I was at the middle school that we only had 2 language teachers, but one of them taught Spanish and French. So we had to, manage it that way. So there's just a lot of different options that we could look at, rather than just kind of thinking about this is how we have to do it, whether it's different languages, different, different scheduling, different ways of looking at it. But I think at this point, for next year anyway, I think it's important if we can find somebody to continue it as it is, and then have a whole year next year for that discussion, for those changes, for the things that Sean was talking about, just to make sure that everybody's involved in the discussion before any big decisions are made.
I have a question. If we were to axe the French program at the middle school, is there a way that students who wanted to take French, maybe their 7th to 8th grade years, could go up to the high school into French 1?
Model,
Right.
Figure that out.
Right.
Yeah.
So that way they're still offered, it's just offered slightly
In
different.
a different way, which is what I was thinking about, how can we still offer this, but in a different way? Go
One
ahead.
more question. I didn't read the ad for the French teacher. Is there a requirement, years of experience? I'm thinking local colleges as your grads, that there was no.
No, there's no years.
Okay.
As long as they have their certification.
So it's not like those people aren't applying.
Right,
Okay.
exactly.
All right.
Any other questions or discussion? Okay, so we'll just wait and see what we get. Is that Annie? Yep. Go ahead, Annie.
Well, I was just going to say, we just want to maintain some sort of consistency with languages as well, as far as sustainability. And if we are going to find a way to offer it, we just want to see that through. Linguistically, it can just be difficult, especially at the lower levels, to switch between even the Romance languages. So we would just have to be consistent with keeping it.
Right. Anyone else? Oh, Rebecca?
Hey there, thanks. I just wanted to put out there as a comment, maybe to think of for the next year and stuff. The communications committee was looking for alternative ways to communicate. Maybe if we're looking ahead at things that we need to communicate with community members about, maybe we could come up with something in that committee to draft communication to get more stakeholder input on stuff like that.
Great. Anyone else? Is that another hand up or just Diane? Is there anybody else? No? Okay. Okay, great. So the next thing on the agenda is to accept the resignation of Casey
Bopane.
Bopane. Wait, a motion?
Motion to accept the resignation of Casey Bopane.
Second.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll vote.
Kristen,
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Kathy?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes, with huge regret.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Betty?
Yes.
Kelty?
Yes.
And David T.
Yes.
Oh, Sean, I'm
Sean.
sorry you're back. I'm on a different page. I apologize, Sean.
No worries. Yes.
And David T. Yes. It is unanimous.
Okay, is there a motion to accept the resignation of James Mrazek?
Motion to accept the resignation of James Morazic.
Second.
Any discussion? Ooh. Hearing none, we'll vote.
All right, Kristen,
Yeah.
David G,
Yes.
Annie,
Yes.
Wendy,
Yes.
Tyler,
Yes.
Kathy,
Unfortunately, yes.
Patty,
Yes, with regret.
Rebecca,
Yes.
Betty,
Yes.
Sean,
Yes.
Kelty,
Yes.
and David T. Yes. Passes unanimously.
Okay, so in the next item on the agenda is the board evaluation, the one that's been going all around all week. First of all, I just want to thank everybody on the board for all the help that you gave us all to put this together, and all the input that you gave me as I was working on this. I really appreciate all that. I think this was really a good team effort to get this together. So in your folder is the maybe final copy, so I want to just have you look at it and see if you think that this is the one that we want to use. So this board evaluation is directly related to our goals that we set in the fall. And two of those goals said that we were going to do surveys to the community and to the staff, just to make sure that we got feedback from all of our stakeholders on how we've done as a board this year. So when I put this all together, I really just took it right from the wording of our goals and added a few more other things that we've also been working on, like our core values. So what I need from you is discussion about this, if this is something that we want to move forward with, or if you want me to keep working on it. And then once we decide if this is going to be what we want to do, then we need to decide how we're going to get it out to as many people as we possibly can in our communities. So any discussion?
Kathy, you did great on this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Survey Monkey's always great.
Well, that's what the first thing you think of is Survey Monkey, then we get, and the format will come out when we do Survey Monkey, the way that we want it to, like the scale of 1 to 4.
Yeah.
It will be there. There'll be a box for comments under each question. I just wanted to get the questions down first. And Survey Monkey is a great tool. My concern is that not everybody in our community does online or has internet. So how do we get to these other people that don't have kids in the district, that don't have a connection to our district, but are still taxpayers? And how are we going to get information from them?
Door knockers, students. Set them free.
Can we put
Policy
like,
against that?
can we put like paper copies of this at all like the town offices, and then we'll just collect them in 30 days or however long we have the survey out for?
Could we mail them to people, or wait, do people, does everybody get mailed that flyer before or is it only?
Donna can answer the question about the warrant flyer that gets mailed.
But then they have to return them, yeah.
Okay. Okay. Right. Sean's online. Sean has a question. Go ahead, Sean.
Say a comment question. Comment is great job on this, Kathy. I think it looks great. You're asking for input. And secondly, I know some towns, I know it's email, like the town of Reedfield, they email out a monthly messenger. I think that's a great place to put it. And a lot of people get that via email, but also, you know, I'd volunteer to, you know, pick them up from the retail town office or something, or drop them off if we could print some of them. And I drive by the Manchester town office every day. So I think if we did it that way, and I know Mount Vernon has like a similar thing that Reedfield has, and we could get it in that. And I'm sure that you can pretty much put stuff like this in there. So.
Right, the Mount Vernon Town newsletter. I was
Yeah,
thinking
and
of
Reedfield has, it's called the Reedfield Messenger, and that it has a pretty big following.
So there's, I mean, we've had a lot of good ideas. I just want to make sure that everybody is on board with anything that we decide to do. And I'm willing to continue to work on this until we get it finished. You know, I don't mind delivering, I don't mind picking up, I don't mind collating all the information. I don't mind doing that over the summer. So I can, if you want me to, I will. If you don't want me to, I won't.
Oh, definitely,
I'd be
definitely.
glad to do it.
Yeah,
Yes.
thank you.
So just looking back at the questions and the wording and everything, I also want to thank you, Rebecca, for going through this and kind of fixing it up for me. I think you did a great job on that, and I think it's a lot clearer now. So I just want to get some feedback. People think, is this what we want to go with? Do we want to make any more changes? What do we want to do?
I was just going to add QR codes to local businesses as well. I mean, I know that doesn't help anybody who's not technologically literate, but at least gets more.
Right.
You know, Mulligan's, I can put one at Flying Pond,
Right.
Retail Family Market.
I think any place that we can get them out, I think is a good idea. And I was just thinking about how to, you know, we were thinking about like pushing it out on the RSU app on people's phones, and, you know, all the different ways that people get messages or don't. We just, if we can think of all those ways. My biggest concern is people that don't have the technology. So we really want to hear from them as well.
So I know Manchester, I don't believe we have any sort of newsletter, nothing I've ever received, but I'm willing to help with pickup at Manchester. But I mean, even as something as old school of asking them to put it on the sign, come in and take the RSU 38, I mean.
Right. And then if we, you know, at first I thought we could like have them mail them back, but then that would be, you know, that would be one more step. So if we just had them return them to the town office or wherever they might have picked them up.
You know, and I was going to say, you know, we all get the articles in the mail early on. It's easily mailed. Why can't they create a small supplement, do the same thing? That would definitely get to every.
And then just have it, you can, if you get the paper one, just drop it off at the town offices.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That way there's less collection spots, but everybody's near their town office.
Right.
Kathy, when did you want these done by?
I don't know. What do you guys think?
Well, you know how every beginning of the school year, every parent has to fill out X paperwork? It was just in that package, if electronically, or people can come get their paper copies if they prefer. But that, I guess that's only every student and parent. Never mind, I'm thinking small-minded. But that's one of those things, that's an easy place to put that.
Well, yeah, and I was actually thinking of if we had gotten this done a little sooner.
Yeah.
We could have sent it all out in the newsletters before the kids all went home, but we didn't get to it soon enough.
Yeah.
But that's a good idea. Okay.
Yeah, it sounds great. If we do that during the summer and we get it out, when everything comes together, that'd be up to you when it would work. And then in the fall, we can be looking at it, the results. And then we can always adjust them or adjust the format or how it goes out as we see how it works. So that- Right?
Yeah. So I actually was thinking getting it out the sooner rather than later, just because people might still have our work in their minds. You know, maybe by the end of the summer, they'll think, I don't remember what, you know. So I might not remember by the end of the month.
I actually
Go ahead,
have a
Kristen.
recommendation for when this survey is put out. A question, like, do you have a child in the school system? Or can
You know, I
ask
did have, and I
that?
guess I must have somehow deleted it.
'Cause that would
Your
give us
role
good
in the district. I
information.
had
Yeah,
like
whether we're reaching
parent,
those people.
employee, community member. I think that got left off.
Okay.
But thank you for reminding me.
That would be a
I'll put
fun
that back.
stat to know in the voting.
And we'd know if we're reaching them.
I'll put that back in. I don't know how to do it. Okay. Go ahead. Who's Annie?
Yes, it's me. So I believe this was brought up on the email thread, but as far as space on SurveyMonkey for the suggestions, obviously on this, there's not a whole lot of space. Is there an actual spot on SurveyMonkey, like a longer sort of paragraph box for suggestions? And then as far as, okay, and then as far as the hard copies, I'm assuming people would just write on the back of the paper if they get through the
Well,
box.
I think the form would be the same. I think even on a hard
Okay.
copy, you could still do like a box or space underneath each question with
And
the, just for them to write.
And then they could just use the back of the paper for, okay,
And
got it.
that, yeah.
Thank you.
Somebody else? I see everybody's hand up online. Is that, you mean it?
Yeah. If I'm good to go, Kathy?
Go ahead, Sean. Yeah, sorry.
Okay,
Go ahead,
yeah,
Sean.
I guess just a couple things, a thought on the timing. I mean, I think if we wait till next school year, that's too long. I mean, people's minds are short, and I don't think we're going to get true, like, school board, like, they haven't done anything in months. So I just think that's too long. And then the other thing I had was, don't forget about like the Reedfield Library. I know some of the other towns have public libraries. I see a lot of different folks I never see. My kids love the library. They go every week, and I see people I never see at meetings and stuff. And I'm sure they would let us leave these surveys there.
Great, thank you. I wrote that down.
Dr. Shaw.
Yeah. Rebecca?
Yeah, I just wanted to remind everyone, I think it was Tyler that brought up the QR code. If we added that to the hard copies, and if it was up at, the family market and the places that you were talking about, they could just scan that and they wouldn't need to go away with any paper.
Right. Yeah, that was one thing I did have on my list too, so. So we'll see if we can get all of these ideas and try to get them out to all of these people and many people as we can. Get that feedback from everyone, because I think it's really important as we move forward to build a better board. Thank you again for all of your help and all of your input in this. I really appreciate it.
You for the things you want together.
Yeah, sure. Okay, we are on to citizen comments. Do we have anybody that has signed up? Healthy, would you mind getting the clipboard, please? Great. Ooh. Thank you. Great. So it's Michelle Hood.
Good evening. Is this on? Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're on.
Perfect. I'm Michelle Hood. I'm lead teacher for Mount Vernon Elementary. I come tonight with a very positive letter that was drafted collaboratively by all of the staff of Mount Vernon. I'd like Tara Wicks to pass those out. Thank you. I just want to say when we talk about, and thank you to all the board members as well, but when we talk about staff morale and school morale, I just wanted to let you know that the staff in Mount Vernon Elementary is wonderful. We are a close-knit community. We work collaboratively together. The staff morale in Mount Vernon is very, very high. And we just really wanted to relay that to you tonight, that of all the things that go on in our community and in our world and in our district, our school is in a very good place. Substitute teachers love working in our building. We hear it all the time. Our test scores are up. Our absenteeism is down. We have almost 0% truancy. Our staff retention is great. So we just really wanted to let you all know that this is a great thing, and we just wanted to pass that along to you tonight.
Thank you so much, Michelle. We appreciate that. And we love Mount Vernon Elementary School too.
Thank you. And we all appreciate you as well.
Thank you.
We appreciate you.
Thank you for the positive.
It was good to hear all those positive things. Thank you. Tara, did you want to say anything else? Okay. Oh, you're the parent. Thank you. Thank you for this letter also to all of the staff members. I'm sure we will read it. Okay, next on the list, Leslie Marco. Okay. Steve DeAngelis.
Steve DeAngelis, I live in Reedfield, and I just had a really quick question. And I know you said you don't often answer them, but this might be quick enough. You just got an answer anyway. I just noticed when I was looking at the administrative salaries and contract end dates and stuff, the Wayne Elementary School salary for fiscal year 24 is like way lower than all the other ones, like 30,000 plus comparatively, and it has less days. Everybody else is at 260, and it's at 195 for some reason. So just kind of curious what the significance of that was.
So one of the things that we're also looking to do as a cost savings is to start to restructure as people leave and new people come in, make contracts that are a little bit shorter in length will save the school district some money. What I found from my own experiences is that in some of these smaller elementary schools, you don't need a principal there like the whole month of July as an example.
I see.
It's
So
a very quiet time, right?
there's still a full-time principal at Wayne,
Yes.
just at maybe a different summertime.
Right, exactly. Kind of restructure the time so that they also have some time off.
Cool, thank you.
during the summer.
Now I understand the numbers.
Thank you, Steve. But it is full-time during the school year. They're there
Yes,
all the time during the school year.
absolutely.
Okay, can I ask, I have a question about the letter that we just got. Can I ask it? Can we do that?
As long as it's not like, yeah, yeah.
I saw the minutes from last week's meeting and know that there was an executive session to discuss some of these things. And I wasn't there, but reading this letter makes me feel concerned because I don't know what's, like I said, I wasn't there, but I'm noticing a different contract end date there and that for that administrator, and that is not in alignment with what this people on the staff are saying in this letter. So I'm kind of wondering, and I don't know if this is,
I'll just explain, Patty, to, because that was a discussion in executive session, we can't talk about that.
I am concerned that, and hope that it was talked about that I hope people knew that this is how the staff felt during that discussion.
And we do appreciate this information from the staff. That is important to us. Thank you. Any other questions or comments? Okay. Is there a motion to go into executive session?
I move we go into executive session to consider negotiations between the RSU 38 Board of Directors and the RSU 38 School Bus Drivers pursuant to 1 MRSA Section 4056D.
Second. It's been moved and seconded to go into executive session. We need to vote.
Yep, we do have to vote to go in. So Kristen?
Yeah.
David G?
Yes.
Annie?
Yep.
Wendy?
Yes.
Tyler?
Yep.
Kathy?
Yes.
Patty?
Yes.
Rebecca?
Yes.
Betty?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Kelty?
Yes.
And David T?
Yes.
It is unanimous.
Okay,
Now
we are in executive session. Okay, is there a motion to accept the contract for the school bus drivers? Oh, is this one working?
Yeah.
How about this one?
I move we accept the negotiated agreement between the RSU 38 Board of Directors and the RSU 38 bus drivers.
Any discussion? Hearing none, we will vote.
All right.
We're done
Oh,
with Zoom?
I
Okay.
think we've got some online, right? So, yep.
Okay.
Kristen? Yeah. I gotta put these back on. David G? Yeah. Annie? Is she still online?
Is she still there?
Yes, yes.
Thank you. Perfect. Wendy? Yeah. Tyler?
Abstention?
Kathy?
Yes.
Patty? Yes. Rebecca?
Yes.
Betty?
Yes.
Sean?
Yes.
Kelty? Yes. David T?
Yes.
So it passes, and it was 11 yeses and 1 abstention.
So Tyler, your reason for abstention?
Conflict
Abstaining?
of interest.
Okay, thank you. Okay, Sean, are you willing, ready to do the norm review?
Yeah, I'm willing,
Okay.
ready. The parts I was here for, I think everyone shared airtime. We were student centered. I think we did a great job tonight.
Great, thank you, Sean. Is there a motion to adjourn?
I move we adjourn.
Is there a second? Second. All those in favor of adjourning? We're adjourned. And I'll use